Okay, I'm finding my voice again, but we are going to move into this thing real slow like, real demure like. I'm thinking as my mojo builds, I'll do one video a day until I'm back at full speed. And today, I want to start with this viral story right here. Black Trump supporter claims he was called a slave by right-wing organization he was canvassing for. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Carl Baxter. And Mr. Carl Baxter is a die-hard MAGA supporter. You can find him on social media doing his thing for MAGA. You can find him at the Trump rallies having a good old time with the MAGA supporters. You can see him right here donning the red hat. If he can get into the galas, he's going to the galas too. Mr. Baxter is a die-hard MAGA supporter who also has his own organization, like Michaela, like the rest of the Black Trump supporters. They have their own thing that they're trying to jump off, and they're using MAGA and Donald Trump and being a Black Trump supporter to jump them off. It's a grift. But he is president of the Republican Club of North and East Fort Myers. Fort Myers is south in Florida. Now, what happened was Mr. Baxter partnered with Americans for Prosperity. Americans for Prosperity is an organization that belongs to the Koch brothers, the billionaire Koch brothers. But I think one of the Koch brothers has gone on to glory, or maybe he's gone down to hell. But the organization Americans for Prosperity is owned by the Koch network, and he partnered with them. Let's talk a little bit about Americans for Prosperity and what those funds are used to do when it comes to policy here in the United States. Okay, so Americans for Prosperity, they focus on hollowing out workers' rights. They focus on blocking Medicaid expansion, kneecapping green energy initiatives, and they heavily focus on pushing down the minimum wage. But yet the name of the organization is Americans for Prosperity. Americans for Prosperity would be the millionaire and the billionaire class. That's who this organization is working for. It is not working for those of us who are the middle and lower class. Anywho, back to Mr. Baxter and his partnership with Americans for Prosperity. He started working with the organization back in June. They hired him part-time, $20 an hour, to do some neighborhood canvassing, to talk to people in certain neighborhoods about what their policy initiatives are, what their goals are, and things like that. He was also supposed to be reimbursed for travel, driving to these different neighborhoods, to and from, that type of thing. According to Mr. Baxter, in this lawsuit that he filed, according to The Independent, he quickly became disenchanted with Americans for Prosperity. He was approached by the deputy director for this organization, and he claims that he was offered a bribe. He met this person at the Oasis restaurant in downtown Fort Myers, and he was offered $500 to provide dirt on Cape Coral's council member Patty Cummings. Mr. Baxter basically stated, yo, that's not what I'm here for. I was hired and I was told this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Furthermore, we're not really in support of Donald Trump this time around. We are working to try to get Donald Trump defeated in the primaries, right? Remember, The Koch brothers was all for Donald Trump back in 2016. But in this time around, the Koch brothers weren't feeling Donald Trump. And so they had jumped on the bandwagon to get Donald Trump primaried out. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because they were working to try to get Donald Trump primaried out, that doesn't mean that they are for the middle and lower class and are not focused on their own pockets. Americans for Prosperity was still trying to push down the increase of minimum wage. They were still working against the expansion of Medicaid. They were still working against initiatives for climate change, all of the above. But it seems this person that he met with at this restaurant had other plans. You know, there's a lot of local elections that are still standing firm with Donald Trump. And so this person who's working for the Americans for Prosperity organization has some side things going on, and they wanted to get rid of Patty. I don't know what Patty did. I don't know if Patty wasn't standing firm with Donald Trump. I don't know any of that. This article doesn't go into the specifics of that. This article does go into specifics that Mr. Baxter was like, nah, whatever y'all got going on, I don't want nothing to do with it, because we are trying to primary Donald Trump out. Well, after that meeting went down, Mr. Baxter's money started looking funny. He wasn't getting properly credited for the hours that he was working when he was out canvassing, and his mileage reimbursement and all of that stuff. He brought the concerns up to the American for Prosperity Grassroots Engagement Director, Roxanne Buckles. This article goes on to say that Buckles, who is white according to Baxter's lawsuit, quote, then proceeded to call him a slave and demanded that he confirm he is a slave. Quote, I know you are doing the work, and I can see the doors that you are hitting on my iPad on my side. At least you are working as a slave. Sarcastically, but at least you are getting paid. Many slaves today do get paid. Many used to never get paid. Are you a slave? Question mark. End quote. Well, needless to say, Mr. Baxter was highly offended that the leopards ate his face, and he demanded to speak to Miss Buckles' immediate supervisor. Some calls took place, and he expressed that he was offended and he wasn't feeling what Miss Buckles had to say. And then not too long after that, another call took place, and Mr. Baxter was terminated. And so Mr. Baxter is suing for wages that he claims that he did not get. He's also suing for compensatory damages and emotional pain and suffering. And this is the moment in this video where I get to channel the incomparable Franchesca Ramsey. I never thought the leopard would eat my face. Oh, I never thought the leopard would eat my face. Now, I didn't say I could sing. But yeah, the leopards are eating Mr. Baxter's face. And I don't feel sorry for him. As a matter of fact, I love this for him.